how to use a switch case. Let me explain one more, then we'll write a programs from the beginning. So I want to make a calculator using switch case. Suppose I want to use a plus operator, minus operator, multiplication, division operators, and whatever I'm going to input, based on that it has to calculate between the two numbers and it should give the output to me. So this is the program I need to write. How can we do that? Let's see this. This is the one. Public class Java example, just a class name I have given, public static void calculate, and I'm going to give a character to the operators. So what are the operators? Mathematical operators, plus, minus, multiplication, division. These are the operators I need to give it to this method, so that it will do operation between those two numbers. Based on the given operator, it has to perform the operation and give the output. So multiple conditions right here. Think multiple conditions. So for example, user given a plus operator, and it should sum n1 and n2. Between those two numbers, sum has to be happen. And suppose if user call this method and given minus operator, then it should perform subtraction operation. And same another user called calculate method, and they should give a operator as a multiplication, and they should do multiplication between the two numbers. Like that, any operator you can give. It's a user choice, right? We cannot restrict it. And so this is the parameterized method we are making, but multiple conditions are here. How can you write a multiple condition? Either you can use a nested if else or switch case you can use. Any one you can use here with this switch. Now, so let's see here one more important concept I'm introducing here. Two numbers I'm taking. I just declared I'm not assigning local variables here. Double num1 comma num2, both are double. I just declared the double data type local variables. Okay, now I need to give values for this num1 and num2. I want to assign the values. In the beginning classes I told you how to assign the variables, and then how to declare the variables, and then how to assign a value to those variables. So declaring a variable means you should have a data type and variable name. That's it. That's a declaration. Now assigning a value, I want to give this num1 value from keyboard. So keyboard, while executing a program, while running the program, I will input my own data. Here you can take a parameterized method. Number 1, number 2 values you can give. Here itself you can take a parameterized. But I want to introduce a new concept here. How can you supply a data to your variables while running your program? While execution time, how can you give a data? So that's what this concept I'm introducing here. One is, now this is the one. So there is a scanner class in Java, a built-in class, which is available in java.util package. Which class you can find this? Java.util package. And I'm using that class in my current package class. What I need to do, and also all these class methods are non-static return type methods. Please understand the question. Understand here. You understand the question. I want to ask you first. I'll start with Swati. Swati, I have a ready-made class in java.util package. So where that scanner class is there, that's what I want to test your Java skills now here. The concept here is java.util package. The scanner class is there. In the scanner class contains all return type non-static methods. Now, how can you use this class in my current package? That's the question. How can I use this scanner class in my class, in my package class, in my current package? What are the steps you need to follow? You understand, Swati?
ఎలా తీసుకుంటున్నారు అనేది అడుగుతున్నారా ఇక్కడ నాన్ స్టాటిక్ మెథడ్స్ ని?
Yes, how can you use them? One class non-static, other package class non-static methods in this class, how can you use?
ఫస్ట్ ఇంపోర్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి కదా.
Super. First point, super. Import this package. Very good. Import java.util.scanner class. Super. Next, madam. What is the next step?
క్లాస్ నేమ్ ని మీరు ఇక్కడ ఇన్వైట్ చేయాలి.
Okay. How can I call non-static methods? How can I call non-static methods?
ఆబ్జెక్ట్.
Right. You're right, madam.
Object
Create object for this class. Create object for scanner class. Then with next methods, how can you call?
Object dot పేరు ప్యాకేజ్ నేమ్ క్లాస్ నేమ్ ని తీసుకోవాలి. నాన్ స్టాటిక్ ది నేమ్ తీసుకోవాలంటున్నాను.
You created object here. Yes. Then you call with object reference that methods. Which method you want? Call return type non-static method with object reference. What is the syntax? Return type methods, how can you call?
Object, first object dot అని పిలిచి తర్వాత non-static method name ఇవ్వాలి.
Okay, good. Non-static, but this is the return type method. How can you call return type method? Means this is the value, right? Value means what you need to do? You need to store in some variable. So data type variable name equal to, this is the procedure we need to follow. Anywhere, these are the common 3 steps. Other package classes, if you are using in your class, this is the steps you need to follow. Anybody having doubt these things? Lakshmi, Sri Lakshmi, Vaishnavi, telling you these concepts.
No, Ramesh, I'm trying to follow. Yeah.
Okay. And just look at that methods topic, Vaishnavi. That's a very, 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 very important topic.
Yeah, sure, okay. Ramesh. I'll catch up. I'm trying to catch up, Ramesh. Yeah.
Okay. So can we move on to the next? And that's the procedure. Now I'm using that same thing. See that? First import other package classes. If you want to use here, we need to do import. So import java.util.scanner class. So this my package is different and this scanner class package is different. So if you are crossing another package, always first do import. Import will give a permission for us to use this scanner class objects. So this scanner class has all return type non-static methods. That means they returns a value to us. So that's what I did. Now first declared a variable, then I created object for a scanner class. Scanner sc equal to new scanner system.in. In the beginning class I told Lakshmi, what is system.in? What this will do? System.in, system.out, I explained.
Input data.
It will take the input. Super, excellent. System.in will takes the data. Input data it will take from the keyboard. That's a system.in. That's all. Previous topics are coming up here. That's the continuous process. It's the same keywords, basics will keep coming everywhere. Now, so I'm enter your first number, this n1 value, number 1 value I'm entering. Now I'm using, there is a double value I need to enter. In this scanner class, what type of data you want to enter? So there is that method is there. If you want integer, next int method is there. So many methods are there. Let me list out all the methods so that you can call. So first integer, you want to input. If you want to input integer data. So integer type of data, integer data type. So the method you need to call next int method. This is the return type method. So how can you call return type method? Data type variable equal to sc object dot next int method. That's how to call. Suppose if you want to call, suppose if you want input float data type value, call next float method. See that method naming conventions everywhere we are following, and the return type of this method is, so return type methods follow this. What is the return type of the next float method? It returns a float value, float. So variable name equal to variable name, why I'm storing value, variable name equal to sc object dot next float method. Same way, if you want to call double value, all these methods are available. Input double value, double data type value, call next double method, and the data type of this method is next double method, data type is double, and next double. And if you want to input in string type data, right, if you want input string data type value, call next method is there, next method, and one more also there. Let me give it two they have provided. Next line method is there. This is the any method you can call. So I'm using next method. It will accept the string type data it returns. So this is based on the data type you want to give. You can use this all scanner class methods. Return type methods, again I'm repeating one more time. That's why I told you very important how to call return type methods. If you want to character, suppose character you cannot input from that, but you have to do some calculations. If you want to do character, first you will get a string. So you will get a string, right? From this string object dot, then string class method you have to call, caret method you have to call to get the character from that string. So that we'll see later. So are we clear on this? The scanner class, that's what I use it here. So num1, so that the variable I declared here, I'm assigning here equal to the sc object dot next double method I'm calling. So the value, this is going to, you are inputting here, and that value I'm storing in this num1 variable. I declared here, again you don't need a data type here because you declared already. So the data type for the num1, now you are using num1 variable, and the value you are storing in this num1. Next, system.out.println, enter second number. So I want to give a value for a num2, and num2 equal to sc dot next double. I'm giving that value, and I have given num1 value, num2 value. I'm closing the object, so I don't need object now. I'm closing the object. That means object will be cleaned up. So whenever next time program runs, again it will create object. So this time I'm closing my object. I don't need object now anymore. So there is a close method is there in the object. You can call any object reference, you can close with the close method. If you don't want object no more necessary, then close that, so that it will remove the space, right? It will remove the space from the memory. Now double output. So switch the operator, the variable name. So this variable name I'm using, this local parameter I'm using, my switch case, switch operator, curly braces start, case plus operator. So these are single quotes. Single quotes represent a plus operator, character, right? Character it represent. Now output equal to number1 plus number2. I'm giving a sum. If the operator is a plus, it will come here, and this calculation will do and the break statement will execute. Break statement, what it will do? It will exit the entire switch case. Okay, so given operator is not plus, it's not matching this operator, and this plus is not matching, then it will go to second case minus. So then output equal to number 1 minus number 2. Break it. If this is matching, this code will execute and a subtraction will happen here. And if it is not matching, the operator whatever you have given is not plus and not minus, then it will go to this third case. It will check given operator is a multiplication or not. If it is a multiplication, and this code will execute, and that output will store in this output variable, because I declared here. Again, declaration of the variable I'm doing, later I'm assigning a value to that variable. Please catch here how to declare a variable, how to assign a value to that, then break it. And in case, okay, the given operator is not this multiplication, I'm going here. Then if it is a division operator, so the output equal to number 1 divided by number 2, that output will store in the output variable, break it. Then if all these cases are not true, so you're going for a default block, system.out.println, you have entered wrong operator. If you give wrong operator, it won't exist. Then switch case is ending here. Then switch case after I'm using system.out.println number 1 plus, so the joining some space I'm giving, plus operator plus and some space I'm giving, then plus number 2 colon the output. So I'm giving the output. So this is the program we are going to write in the switch case. Let's see how to write all these programs. Any questions here? What type of methods you want? I'll write again methods only. You should know how to create a methods and why you need to create a methods. I'm creating a new package and new class. At a time, I'll create package and class both. So I'm right clicked on the SRC, then give the package first. So ControlStructure programs. Then here we have a class name. I'm going to give a class name Conditional Statements first. Conditional Statements demo. See, I'm following the class naming conventions. Each word first letter is in capital. That's a mandate. Immediately when you're creating a class, when you're calling class, the naming conventions you should remember. And then take the main method. I need a main method to execute my program. So what type of methods you want? What type of methods you want me to write here? You want static methods or non-static methods?
Non-static.
Non-static methods. Okay, let's create a non-static methods. Access modifier, void method name, parenthesis. I'm taking a data type P1, comma, data type P2. Two parameters I'm taking, and I'll write the logic. So curly braces set. So first I'll take private void. The method name is, you have to write a method name. I'm writing if demo, right? If demo method. I'm just giving the if demo to int a comma int b. So this is the method I'm going to started executing the method if demo. Just give that int a comma int b. You are just writing which method you are executing so that you can understand how we can execute that, right? So next, and first we have to take the if condition. So one if condition I want to take. I'm writing expressions here. I'm writing expressions here. If a greater than b, this is the expression, right? This is the expression. So I'm writing where we are. I am inside a greater than b expression if block. So expression if block. So then what will happen? I'll say simply a is big. A is bigger than B. So simple statement I have written. Now if you want to write one more condition, I have to come out of this if block. This the if block is ended here, and one more condition if I want to write, I have to start another if block. So if A less than B, so I can write another thing. I am inside A less than B expression if block. So I can say simply A is smaller than, so just some few statements. If I want to write one more, if suppose I'll do A plus B, a lot of conditions you can write, right? A lot of conditions you can write. A plus B greater than 30. So I can say here, this is the expression, right? This is the expression. So if the expression is to A plus B greater than 30, and we can see all these conditions. Let's see that. Bigger conditions I am writing. So I am inside and this condition. You can say simply bigger expressions written. So that's a one. And I want to check one more condition. That every time I have to write a new if condition. Only if condition is independently we are writing. For example, I want to check A equal to, so then see here. So I am inside A equal to B expression if block. So you can say both are equal. Both A and B are right. That's A equal to B. Right. Still, I want to write my conditions without expressions. So we have seen yesterday, right? We have seen yesterday, and if you see here, without expressions we have written, right? Without expressions. If true and false, so I want to write. So just write this out. I'm just writing using if condition, if statement with direct Boolean value, true or false. So directly I'm using. So then write if true, you can simply say that. So direct Boolean value I'm writing. So you can use on the top, we used expressions. Now here we are using a direct Boolean value in the condition. So I'm checking my Boolean value true. Okay, that's one. If we want to write one more, if false, so this code is not going to execute. See that this code is not going to execute. So I'm inside false statement if block, false condition. So false condition if block. So this is not going to execute for you, but I can do this if negation false. So negation false means I'm inverting the false here. So I am inverting the false Boolean value. So it will become true. It will become true so that this statement will execute. So this is the another if conditions, all if conditions, right? That's a if statement, if demo. The simple method I have written. All the statements will execute. That's it. So now I'm just putting end of if demo so that we can understand my method is ending here and my method is started here. Next, any questions here? Lakshmi.
No, sir.
Are we good?
Yeah, trying to understand.
So yesterday's one I'm just writing. Yesterday I explained, I'm writing here all the conditional operators. I'm using between the two variables. These are conditional operators we have done in the Boolean variable demo class. Now I'm using that conditions here. That's a piece I have given. That piece I'm using with the if condition here. That's all basics. Basics I'm giving. And that means yesterday you haven't practiced the if conditions. The if conditions, you have to understand that while reading, you should understand what is happening. Very clearly given notes. One time if you read, that's problem. Read multiple times. Understand. Word by word you read, then you will get the things. And what this if condition is, decision making it is doing. Based on this condition, whether this block of code need to execute or not, it is telling. If this is not true, and this code won't execute, and it will jump to here directly. If the condition is false, directly it will jump to 14th line, from 9th to 14th line. If condition, this condition is false. That's what I told you yesterday. That's what I did here also. If this condition is true, so this block will execute. And now this condition is false, never going to execute this block, because you are hard coding. The condition value is false, never going to execute this block. No use of this. With if, it is not possible. If negation I did, negation of false, so this is a, this output is a true. True means, and this block will execute. That's all. Now, so next method I'm writing access modifier void method name. So I'm taking without parameters. I'll write all the conditions. Okay, next one is protected void if else demo. I'm taking if else demo. So I'm declaring three variables, local variables. So what is a local variable syntax of Sri Lakshmi?
Data type variable name equal to value, sir.
Started executing if else demo. All previous things I'm going to use here again. That's a common everywhere. So data type variable name equal to value. This is the concept I'm going to use now. So int a equal to 40, b equal to 30, c equal to 100. So this is the one I declared three variables, local variables, declared and assigned a value also. Declared and assigned a value also in single line. All are integers. That's why I put a comma between each variable. So no need to again write int b, int c. So it will tell that, okay, a, b, c are integers. You can reduce the number of lines. So with this concept, if all three variables are same data type, and just put a comma after each value, then you can assign the value for that variable. Now I'm going to use the logical operators. Let me use first logical AND operator. Using logical operators R. So what is the R symbol? Two pipe symbols. Two pipe symbols. So with using these variables, I'm going to do logic here building. I'm going to build logic if else demo. If a greater than 15 or b greater than 10, and I can say here, see that the logical operators you're using between two expressions. Between two expressions you are using that. Now, so I am inside this expression. So this expression right here, the expression if condition, if block, if condition. So then I'm saying I'm printing a value. So a value is, if that is true, I'm printing a value. Else I'm saying, see, else after you should not write any parenthesis, directly the curly braces region. So you can just give that I am inside else block, inside else block. So if this is not true, and it will come directly to else block. So else block, whatever you are writing, so that code will execute. That is C value is, I am printing C value. That's a C. That's a one if else block is done. Next, I'm coming out of that if else block. Now I'm executing using logical AND operator. What is AND operator symbol? This is the. So now I'll write another if else. One more condition I'm writing. If A less than 20 and B greater than 15. Now, so I'm saying I'm inside if block with expression. So we can say if it is true, I'm printing B value is plus B. Else, okay, if this is not true, then it has to come here, right? I'm just executing this. So I am inside else block with expression. So that expression. So now I'm printing C value is plus C. Okay, so this is the if else demo, how we are going to use. Any questions? Both conditions are written, both if else we are using. Before class we used only if. Now here in this method I'm using if else. Okay, if this is not true, so it will jump direct to else part. If this condition is true, only this code will executes. That's both places. If this condition is true, these two statements will. If this condition is false, directly jump to else block and these two statements will. Are we good? Any questions here? And next moving on to the nested if else. Nested if else I have given, find out in the given ABC which one is big. You create a parameterized method. You take the parameterized method and you write the one method, and that method you call it here. That method you call it, and that another method you write, and I'm writing a different method here. So how to use a nested if else I'm going to show here. So I'm writing void find the grade or get grade. So maybe if you want to return, you can return, but so we can write, I'll write a find grade based on the marks. So you give int or float, right? Whatever it is, you can pass float, right? Double. I'll just give a double. So double marks. Based on the marks, I'm going to give a grading. Based on the marks, I'm going to give a grading. See, I'm so many marks, right? 1 to 100 I have to represent here. How can you represent? Then you have to write multiple conditions. Then only you can give a grading, right? Different ranges are there. Then go for the nested if else. If you have a different ranges, that ranges you want to check, then you have to give some output based on the range, and you can give. For the marks can be any type, right? Anywhere it will fall under, right? Then so you have to write a condition. If this range falls, and give this grading. If this range falls, give this rating. And how can you write that multiple ranges with each if else, nested if else condition? If you do, then only possible. So finding the grade for given marks. So for given marks means this one. Now I'm writing if marks marks greater than 30, so are less than 0, greater than 0, and marks less than or equal to 30, I can say 35 till 35, right? Till 30, less than 35, less than or equal to, no, less than 35 I'll give sys out. So you can say grade is fail. Greater than 0 and marks less than 35 means it's a fail grade. Else if, so next range of data, next set of range, marks greater than 35 or greater than or equal to, I need to consider 35 also, right? And marks less than 50, so I'm giving third grade. Okay, but just understand here, that's it. Any range you can give, it doesn't matter. Grade is third. Else if conditions keep coming, marks greater than or equal to 50 and marks less than 60, you can give second grade. So the grade is second. Else if marks greater than or equal to 60 and marks less than 75, I can give grade is first grade. Grade is first. Else if marks so greater than or equal to 75 and marks less than or equal to 90 or less than 90, so I can give distinction, right? Let me give the grade is distinction. So else if marks are greater than or equal to 90 and marks less than or equal to 100, so simply you can say that block. See that different conditions, different input ranges, the ranges you want to check, and this is the nested if else you have to use. See, if this condition is true, this will execute. If this condition is not true, it will go to this condition. If this is true, this will execute. If this is not true, it will go to next condition. So this is down, top to downwards. Each condition will check, keep coming one by one it will check. So that's this nested if else. This nested if else is more complex. You see that? More curly braces you have to write. That's why we are going for a switch case. The grade is super grade. So else we can give else. Okay, all conditions are over. Marks is out of range. So entered marks are out of range. Entered marks are out of range. Set else block. If all these conditions are not true, else block will execute. So that's a nested if else. Okay, so you do this program and you do that finding the given ABC, which one is big. Two programs if you write, you can get a better idea. So make sure else after one space you are giving. Okay, one space. Then if parenthesis. That's why this is called if else if ladder. So this is ladder, right? Just going down, top to down. So that's the nested if else. Any questions? So next the switch case I'm going. Public void switch case demo. So I need to give for this method character operator. So operator I need to give. Operators are, what are the operators? Plus, minus, mathematical operators. Plus, minus, if you don't know, note down mathematical operators. Mathematical operators. And conditional operators you forget. That's I so yesterday, that's not good. Plus, minus, multiplication, division. These are the mathematical operators. And conditional operators I have given yesterday already. And even in the Boolean data type explanation time also I have given. Logical operators again I introduced it here. Here I have used it here also. So operators again one more time I have used. This is the operator and this is the operator. This is the operator. So like this, you can write one more, A not equal to B. So you can write this also. One more if condition. A not equal to B. If that condition is true, I can say I am inside A not equal to B expression you block. So both are not equal. So like this, so many conditions you can write with if condition. Each condition, if you want to write, you have to use if block. Both A and B are not equal, right? So this is the one. Now here we are going to use calculator. You calculate based on the operator. So first what we need to do, we need to give input. So providing input data. So input data to variables while running the program. How is it possible? First, create object for scanner class. So how to create object? What is the syntax? Class name, object reference equal to new class name. This is the syntax. So what is the class name? Scanner. SC object equal to new scanner. So for the scanner class, you have to pass a parameterized constructor, that is system.in you have to pass. So I am using here system.in. So system.in will takes the data from the keyboard. And why it is throwing error? So import, because this package is different, our package is different. Where this scanner class is available, it is showing many packages, but you have to choose the right package. Be careful. So one class may have in different packages, same class name, but make sure which package class you want. So we want java.util package, not other packages. So we want java.util package. So select that, the import statement added here. Okay, now, so let's come back. Now I need to declare some variables, right? So declare the local variables. Declare, so local variables, declare, only declare. What is the syntax? Data type, variable name. That's a declaration, not assignment. So I'm declaring double n1 comma n2. Two variables I declared. Two variables I declared. Now I'm going to assign a value. n1 n2 values I'm going to assign. Enter first number n1 plus n1. So you will enter that. So how you will enter, I'll show you. So n1 equal to sc object dot next double method you call it. So this, why you are not calling sir data type, you can ask here. I already declared here that it double n1 already declared. I'm just using that variable here. Anybody having question on this? The return type you told data type. So I already declared here a data type. Again, you don't need to declare here one more time. N1 data type already declared here. So just use that value here, N1. So this value, whatever the value you are inputting in the keyboard, that will come and store here. Same. Second, enter second number, N2. So N2 equal to sc object dot next double method. See that next double is a return type. It returns a double data. It's clearly giving here itself. So it returns a double data. That's already declared. N2 data type a double. So this the both values I have given from the keyboard. How to supply from keyboard? I'm just mentioned here. Now, so I want to output of these two values, right? So that output I'm going to store. So N1 and N2 output store in one variable, That is, you will get, so double, if you do operation between the double variables, what is the type of data you will get? If you do double,
Right, Ramesh?
Data type put equal to
Double only
N1
will
plus
get.
N2, N1 minus N2, N1 multiplied by N2. If you do, what
Double
type of
only will
data
get,
you get?
Ramesh.
Double
We'll get
only.
double only. Yeah.
Double only will get. It's a plus or minus multiplication operator, right? You're not using a logical operator to get the Boolean value. Somebody told Boolean. No. Why you will get a Boolean if you use mathematical operators? Same data type you will get. Double data type you are going to get. Now, switch operator. If my variable is, operator is a variable, to use switch block I am writing. Switch block, the case plus operator. If the colon you put, and you do the output equal to N1 plus N2, then write break statement. So then I'm going to write multiple things for the same, right? That's it. Here case minus and put minus here. Then case multiplication and put multiplication. And case division, put dividends. So this is not required. Then default block, and you can say simply sysout and entered invalid operator. Entered invalid operator. So this is the switch case ending. This is a switch case ending. So I want to use outside of this switch, and you can use N1 plus the operator plus N2. The operator after will give some space we are giving, and then so let's give the output. So this output. So why it is throwing error here? Why it is throwing error here? So this output, see that, very important point. Make a note, or so remember this point. The local variable output may not have been initialized. That's why we are getting a error here. Please initialize your local variables. So here we didn't initialize this. So first initialize this value. So then the error will go away. So that's why local variables, you must assign a value before using them. So if you are using outside this block, here in the inside switch case you are assigning, but this switch case is ending here, and you are using outside the switch case which is assigned here, but here you didn't assign a value. That's why it is throwing error. It was throwing error. Now once I assign a value to that, initially it was 0, and later when it executes this switch case, the output value will be this output. It will replace 0 and with this output. So the local variable values you can change, right? At any variable value you can change, right? At any point of time. So now I'll change from 0 to some other value. So that's why you have to initialize local variables before using them. So here I have initialized it. I have assigned a value to them. N1 and N2 value I have assigned. Okay, I forget one more. I will close my SC object. Close the SC object. So I don't need now SC object dot close method. See that there is a close method in the scanner class. Now this is a void method. That's why I'm not writing any return type for that. That's what the difference you need to catch between the return type and void methods. So close is a void method. It will close the object. It won't assign a value. Are we all clear? Any questions here?
Can you just scroll up once? Yeah, they're clear, Ramesh. Yeah, I got it.
See, these are in the scanner class, these are the return type method. That's why I'm storing in a variable. but this one is not a return type, void method. Directly I'm calling that object dot that non-static method. Any non-static stuff if you want to call, create object for the class.
Okay.
Any non-static
Okay.
methods if you want to call, first you need to create object for that class. Which class non-static methods you are calling? And now scanner class are non-static methods I called one, and this is the second one. So that's why I created object for that class. And that object reference I'm using to call this class return type non-static methods. And I given very clear theory part here. If you want to call any other package class in the current package, first you have to do import. That's what we did. Okay. Again, I'm repeating that topic before yesterday's topic. I did it. Then I created object for the class, and I'm calling return type non-static method with object reference. This is the object reference. So this is the object reference. This is the object reference. Anywhere other class methods you want to call, you have to create object. Okay. Now, so let's call all these methods. Now, how can I call my non-static methods? I have so many non-static methods in my class. All these class non-static methods, how can you call in the same class?
Sir,
How can I call this class non-static methods under main method? If I want to execute, I need to call under main method, right? How can I call?
object reference dot that method names, method name parentheses.
First point you removed, madam. Without first point, so how will you get the object reference, madam? So what you need to tell first?
Create your object.
That point you need to tell, right? Without that, how will you get object reference? So you need to tell create object for the class. So what class? This class members we are calling. So this class non-static methods I am calling. So create object for this class. So what is the syntax? Class name.
Object reference.
So object reference equal to new
Class
class
name semicolon.
parenthesis. So now class name is conditional statements demo. Then CS object equal to new class name parenthesis semicolon. Now this class non-static methods, if you want to call, I have to create object for that class. So now one by one I'm going to call CS object dot if demo. So if demo has a parameterized method, parameterized void method. So call and give the values. So let's just observe that. So which block of code is executing here? So what are the different blocks of code is executing? See that. Started executing if demo. I'm inside A less than B expression. A is smaller than B. See that. What are the output you have given? A is smaller than B. Next, I'm inside A plus B greater than 30. So if block executed. So bigger expression return. So now this is a true. That's why this block code is executed. So this block code is executed. Which block? First block. This is not executed. See that statement. These statements are not there. So this statement is executed. This statement is executed. Next, immediately this statement is executed. This is also true. That's why it is executed. Next, A equal to B not executed. So this statement is not executed. You can see that. And then A not equal to B executed because this is true. Both are not same, right? That's why that statement blocks. This if block statements are executed. Now, so this print statement is executed. Then it came here and this if true statement executed. So and using if statement, that's when I'm checking my boolean true, and that's why this is executed. But this if else is not executed, you see that if false is not executed at all. This statement is skipped, and this statement is also executed. I'm inverting the false boolean, so it will become true, so that this statement will execute. So statements are a bit typo statement. Okay, the typos are there. Okay, so that's the, but how effectively I can check this? How do I know my code, which line is executing, which line is not executing? So there is a called debugging. Run the application, run the code, your method in the debug mode. Now we are using a Java mode, Java application mode we are running. Now you can run in debug mode. Which line is executing, which line is not executing, you can clearly check that. So that is called debug. What is a debug mode? You can run line by line code, but manually you are going to do. Now in the Java perspective, it is executing automatically, but in the debug mode, you have to execute. You have to press the F6 or F5 key, or you have options here. This options next to previous step over, step into. These keywords you can click. Line by line code will execute. You want to see that line by line code? Let me show you that. How to run in debug mode. How to run your code in debug mode, so that you can understand which line is executing, which line is not executing. Why that line, why this block is not executing? Because this condition becomes false. That's why it is jumping directly to here. And this condition is true. That's why it is coming inside this if block. And again, after this, all this statements execution after, this is also true. That's why that block inside code is executing. And this is not true. Directly it is jumping to 31 line. From 27 to 31 line it is jumping. Why these are skipped? Because this condition is false. That's why it is skipped. So that all things, let me show you how the code is executing. So that I'll put a first to run your code in debug mode. Now, can you see here, we are in the Java perspective. Two perspectives we have. One is Java perspective and another one is debug perspective in your Eclipse. So this top right side, there is a Java perspective. We are in the Java perspective. Can you see this is selected in blue color? And beside that, there is a debug perspective. Debug. That is a debug mode. You can run your test case. What is a debug mode? Running your lines of code line by line. Line by line you can execute in your presence. In the Java perspective, it is executing automatically. But debug mode, you can run your test case one by one. That's a debug mode means. So for this, first what you need to do to run your program in debug mode, what are the steps you need to follow? So to run the program in debug mode, so follow below steps. First step, choose the line, choose from which line you want to run. Choose from which line onwards you want to run. Then second step, set the toggle breakpoint. So toggle breakpoint you have to set on that line. How can you set the toggle breakpoint? Double click on that line. So let me show you. So suppose I want to run from this line onwards. So what will happen? It will come here, this line onwards I want to run. My method inside this line onwards I want to run. When it comes here, it will stop your cursor. It will stop your execution and it will be waiting for your intervention. So double click. See that? Can you see this dot? This is called line breakpoint. This is called line breakpoint. Why you need this? The execution will come and stop in this line. It won't go. It won't go. Then you have to interfere. Then you press F5 to move line by line code. So then what you need to, after setting the toggle breakpoint, and third step, and click on F5 key from keyboard, or F6 anyone, or in Eclipse, you can use step over or step into tool keys. You can use them. Anyone you can press that. Then line by line code will execute for you till end of the method. So when it comes to end of the method, it will keep executing. When I see this end of the method curly braces, then the program will terminate for us. So that's how to do a debug mode, how to execute your code. So what is a debugging? Debugging means, so to find out the root cause, people will run in debug mode. You can understand which line is executing, which line is not executing. To execute your code line by line, so that you can understand where it is going the cursor, which line is skipping, which line is executing, you can understand, so that you can understand the code basically. So for that, what you need to do, first set the toggle breakpoint, then one more step, run as a debug. You have to say run as a debug. So you have to switch the perspective. So these steps I missed here. After setting the toggle breakpoint, third step, run as debug, run as a debug. So just right click, debug option will be there. So you right click here, there is a, see that debug as, not run as, a debug as Java application. So right click, so let me write the same steps. Right click and select debug as Java application. So then it will ask you switch to Java perspective. Fourth step, a small pop-up will come. Small pop-up will display and choose switch to debug perspective, and then click on F5 one by one. It will execute the one line, it will highlight. After a line highlightation, then you click on F5. So these are the steps you need to follow if you want to run your code in debug mode. So now we are running the Java perspective mode. Now I am going to run debug perspective. So what you need to do first, go to any method, which method you want to run in debug mode, and select the first which line onwards you want to run debug perspective line by line code. I set the toggle breakpoint. If you double click, it will go. For example, if you double click, it will go. Again, if you want to set, double click. The toggle breakpoint will set on this line. 9th line, I set a toggle breakpoint. Now debug as. So generally we use a run as Java application, but I'm using now debug as Java application. Debug as Java application, and it will pop up. See, this is the pop-up. You want to switch, click on switch. So it is asking you move from Java perspective to debug perspective. Just click on switch. Click on switch. Then it will execute the code in the debug mode. See that now this variable section is enabled, and also the debug mode is enabled, and let's see, it is highlighted. It is highlighted, and A value, B value, it has taken automatically. In the right side, variable section will be enabled to you. See, A value, this has a parameterized method, right? What is the A value? What is the B value you have given? See, it is showing B is 35, and when you mouse over on A value 25 it is showing. So now it came and stopped here. See, it's still in the execution mode, still running mode. It is running red color. Red color means it is program is running. Can you see here? My pointer, yellow pointer is a red color. Red color means it is executed and stopped there. Now you need to interfere now. You need to interfere now. So either you can use this step into or step over F6. Anyone you can use in this toolbar. In this toolbar to run next line. So I'm clicking this. My cursor is now here in this 9th line. I want to move to next line. How can you move to next line? Click on this. Step over. So where it come now? 11th line it came. So this 9th line executed. Now it came to 11th line. It is waiting for your action. Again, click one more time. See that? What happened? This 11th line and 12th and 13th line is not executed. Why? This condition is false. This condition is false. That's why it jumped to 16th line. Now execute this. See that 16th line is true. That's why condition is true. That's why it came inside the if block. And 18th line also will execute. Then it is going to 21st line. See that line by line code you are executing. So click on this step over F6, or from the keyboard also you can press F6 to run the code. If you press F6 only, it will go to next line. And I'm pressing step over this one, again this one, again this one. See that this is true, and it all code executed inside the if block, and then it went to next line, 27th line. See that jumped out of 27, after it jumped directly to 31. Why? A equal to B is false, right? 25 equal to 35. True or false?
False.
False.
False means what I told you, that if block won't execute, right? That's why it jumped to this. Any condition is false, that block of code is not going to execute. That's why 31st line came. See that this is true. 31 line is true. That's why it came inside that if block. This is a line by line code execution. So you can find out the root cause, why it is skipping. So what is the problem? The developers and automation testers, you need to run your test code in the debug mode so that you can find out what is the problem in the code. When you get a problem only, you can run in debug mode. When you don't have problem, you don't need to run in debug mode. Okay, please catch that point. See that? So see that this code is not executed. This code is not executed. Why? This is a false. Directly jump to this one. See that this line is executed and method is ending. Now this is a method ending. So 48 line method ending. So when you execute, it will come to main method. Main method of this line executed, and main method after nothing is there. So that's why it will stop. See that gray color. Gray color means program execution is done. That's how to run in debug mode. Then how can I come back from debug mode to Java perspective? Just close this. So you remove the toggle breakpoint, and then from this debug icon is selected now, right? And select this Java perspective. Just click on Java perspective. So now we'll come back to normal Java mode. That's how to top right side, you select Java perspective, you will come back and remove the toggle breakpoint. So let me write those steps. How can you move back to Java perspective? How can you move back from debug perspective to Java perspective? So what are the steps? First step is remove the toggle breakpoint by double clicking on this, on the line. Second step, on top right side of the Eclipse, choose Java perspective. Then automatically it will switch back to the Java mode. Okay, how to run, this is how to run the program in debug mode. Then follow below steps. So are you clear? To run your program in debug mode. Any doubts here?
To execute line by line in the Java program?
Yeah, that's it. Line by line code. But when you execute normal Java application, you don't understand. It is executing and giving the output to you. But you are not seeing which line is executing, which line is not executing, right? But if you run in debug mode, you can see which line is executing, which line is skipping. That's a debug mode, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm calling other things, other methods. Let's call other methods quickly, and we can finish today's class. So next method is if else demo, the void method directly I'm calling. I feel that you understand, right? Otherwise, I'll explain one more. See that first one, R condition. So if block is executed, that means this condition is true. That's why if block is executed. Then logical AND operator. See where we are in the AND operator case in the else block. That means this condition is not true. That's why it jumped into else block. So that's how code will keep moving. Any method you can execute in debug mode, and you can see so where it is going. CS object. Next method is find grade. So I'll give 45. 45 comes out fall under which grade? Third grade, right? From 35 to 50 we put in the third grade. So that's why it is showing third grade. That's right. You can check like that. You can give 4. So it will tell all the range it is going and your code is perfect executing or not. If it is going into another grade, that's wrong, right? Let's see fail grade it is showing. That's correct. And then like that you can check. Suppose if I give 400, see whether it should go to else block, right? It is showing, see that. So entered marks are out of range. Else block it is executed. Executing else block. So if you are getting Java perspective directly code, but if you go to debug perspective, you can check all these lines of code. You can check here. So this every line it will execute line by line will execute for you. Condition by condition. If condition is not true, it will directly check to the next condition, next condition, next condition. It will check like that. If all these conditions are not true, it will come to else block. Now all these conditions are not true. That's why it went to else block. That's because I entered 400. That's why. Okay, last one. CS object, switch demo, and character I'm giving. This is the character. Character, how can you give? In the single quotes, right? Character value. Single quotes we have to give. So just press enter key. So it is asking, see that the program is running time you are giving, it is asking enter first number. So I'm giving 25. It is asking second number 15. See that 25.0.15.0 equal to 40. That's the last code is executed. So this one equal to output, so that it will be easy for to understand, right? Some typo is here, first number. See that that's the how to execute the code. You see it is executing. So I'll enter 10 and then I'll enter 15. So 25.0. So you change here. For example, you change here instead of plus, I'll put a minus. So then you execute again code. Execute again your code. See that first one I'll use 5 and then 3. So 5 minus 3, 2. And you change here multiplication. See every time you change your input parameter, again it will go to that switch case block. Now you want to see that switch case block also, you want to execute in line by line code, you run in debug mode. So then you can understand how it is executing. So that's what the debug mode is giving you a lot of understanding for you. So now multiplication I'm giving. So 10 multiplied by 5. So 50. So that's the right answer, right? So this is the how you can execute your code and line by line and normal Java perspective. So this all non-static methods how to call, and so this is all the conditional statements. So with that we are done, and I have taken very extensive explanation here. Generally 1 hour only will take, but we took 1.5 hours for